We're an underdog, I acknowledge that, but I feel good about the progress we're making every day, and I feel very optimistic about it. We're going to have to work hard. I've been here before. I've been an underdog before.
A turning point is coming. A turning point awaits in this election and for this country, and it begins here in Florida a week from tomorrow.
But before we get to tomorrow, there is today. Marco Rubio facing a wall in his home state of Florida. Donald Trump leading in polling there. Meanwhile, the Rubio team pushing back against a report that some advisors want him to get out of the race even before Florida. Caitlin Conant's a spokeswoman for the Rubio team. And Caitlin, good morning to you. Thanks for coming back here. You guys were scrambling last night when this report came out of CNN, and you guys say it's rubbish.
It's totally false.
If it's garbage, who's putting it out, Caitlin?
It's totally false, and it was completely reckless of CNN to do that without reaching out to the campaign first. I know you and Fox would never do that and go to air with something that's just wrong. And I don't know who's pushing it out, but I can tell you that Ted Cruz today has been spreading it around because they're scared that Marco Rubio is going to win Florida. And it's the same type of nonsense that he did against Ben Carson when there were false reports that he was dropping out of the race. And it's really unfortunate that this camp is willing to say or do anything to get elected.
It's tough to prove where it came from. You would admit that, right? But the point is that Rubio's staying in, right? That's the point you want to make today.
Totally. We're not going anywhere, Bill. Marco is hitting the ground running in Florida right now. If you want to go to any of his events or to help us with our cause, go to marcorubio.com. But he's won there as an underdog before. He's won against someone very similar to Donald Trump, and that's Charlie Crist. He beat him, he exposed him as a false conservative, and we're going to do the same next Tuesday.
Okay, well, Charlie Crist isn't on the ballot, as you know, but I'm curious to know what happened last weekend. Because Puerto Rico, 23 delegates, I give that to you, but some of these other states, it seems like he's losing altitude. Now, what's happening there?
Well, you know, in Virginia, for example, Donald Trump was supposed to beat us by double digits, and he didn't. And we've seen late-decided voters breaking our way. We're focused on Florida right now, and we're very confident that we're going to do well there and win in Florida. And then coming out of that, we have a much more favorable map. Ted Cruz was supposed to have the best night of his campaign on Super Tuesday. He was supposed to win all of those states, and he didn't. So we have a more favorable map going forward.
He's won a few others, though, and he's a few more than Rubio.
But they've been rural caucuses, and there aren't many of those moving forward. There's more states like Virginia where we did well, swing states like Florida, Minnesota, and Marco's going to shine. And coming out of Florida after a win, we're going to have more momentum and more money on our side.
Got it. But the question is about the threshold. If you don't get to a certain percentage of the vote, you get no delegates. And Marco Rubio failed in Texas on that, failed in Alabama, failed in Louisiana to get any delegates from those states. And I ask you again, why is he losing altitude, would it seem?
We think we're going to continue to gain momentum, and we're confident that as he keeps exposing for Donald Trump as the con artist and false conservative that he is, that we're going to do well and pick up more voters. And right now, no one is close to hitting the 1237 that's needed to lock in this nomination. So we've got a long way to go. This is far from over. Again, okay. Marco's not going anywhere.
Here is Mitt Romney on the air in Florida. Listen.
I believe these are critical times that demand a serious, thoughtful commander-in-chief. If we Republicans were to choose Donald Trump as our nominee, I believe that the prospects for a safe and prosperous future would be greatly diminished. And I'm convinced Donald Trump would lose to Hillary Clinton.
That's what you're hearing in a robocall. Is there proof that Mitt Romney's appeal, now 5 days old, is helping Marco Rubio?
I think anything that anyone can do to point out that Donald Trump is not the person who should lead the party of Lincoln and Reagan into the future is a good thing. We appreciate his help. I know he said he would do this for other candidates if asked, but we just need to keep reminding people that Donald Trump is not the leader that our conservative party needs. Marco Rubio is that leader, and we're going to continue to shine. We're looking forward to a great debate on Thursday and continuing into Florida and to bring home a win there on his home turf.
All right, Caitlin, thanks for your time. Early voting underway, by the way, in Florida.
Yep,
and millions do it, as you know. Thank you, Caitlin Conant there in Washington, D.C. Thanks for your time.
Thanks for having me.
You bet.